because being a healthy diet will magnify your ability to do this. It'll magnify your ability to do this in both your ability to think clearly, but also in your ability to be a role model for others. And I'm saying the consistent overlapping, you can say, what are the overlapping consistent effects of people who've succeeded in losing large amounts of weight, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 150 pounds, and keeping off for decades. And they consistently show these people, they felt that they've gained some superpower. And they're people now who feel that they don't need the approval of, now they're getting their own internally generated self-esteem, not from their achievement, but from their increased ability to be a role model for other people because of what they've achieved themselves. And their ability to feel they're a role model has enhanced their own internally generated self-esteem. We see that ubiquitously across the board with people who've lost a lot of weight and kept it off. So I'm saying that we have to shut down the primitive brain's primitive desire to be self-destructive. And and of course, to do that, you have to shut down the need for other people's approval. So it takes a new mindset to overcome habitual bad eating and overeating. Right? I know I'm intentionally going over this in more depth and more slowly because it's very important to grasp this, that we all have our stresses and struggles, and we all have our desire for instant gratification. And the primitive desire for instant gratification, for power, and for making less of the outside world, and this idea of trying to build up our own egos and this sensitive, affective feeling we're so important. It's innate in almost all of us, but we have to recognize it to minimize it. And we have to maximize what opposes that. And the things that oppose that, the gratitude, the goodwill, these things that oppose it also are going to oppose the brain's need for instant stimulation and instant gratification, right? So your cerebral brain can master control over the primitive brain's desire to eat junk food when we have this larger purpose that fuels our contentment and peace in life. So your cerebral mind can do this if we build this with practice. We have to practice the power of the cerebral brain's ability to control the primitive brain's desire for instant gratification and neuronal stimulation, right? So why behave or why do anything not in our own best self-interest? And the reason we put things in our mouth that's self-destruct, and we want to eat pizza and donuts and fried foods and sweets, right? Well, we want to do something that's going to hurt our survival. We want to do that because we're going for instant gratification. And it doesn't, even if we feel a bit worse after. And what I'm saying is we have to have a different outlook on life, to be different from other people, and to lose the desire to go after such instant gratification, because the long-term gratification is so much stronger and is so much more powerful. So the ego, this constant ego battle between the the body's primitive brain desire of addiction and the ego are constant in battle, right? And this battle to find flaws outside of the self, to complain about things, right? And the ego finds a way to be unhappy. And this unhappy withdrawal from the outside world to so that we can get into ourselves and be, and our own selfish needs is the driver of all addiction. So I'm just saying the positivity heals, and we oppose this negativity thinking with positivity thinking. So we have to practice positivity thinking. We have to keep a notebook, perhaps. We have to look every hour for things we appreciate in the world around us that are outside of ourselves, right? We have to consciously be mindful of the ego's desire to protect itself and be on its own, and to negate the value of the outside world by focusing on the outside world and things we can be grateful for. So we have to appreciate things outside of ourselves. We have to look for opportunities to be useful for other people, to develop our passion in life. We have to seek out our daily likes with the eyes of an artist, looking for things that look beautiful around us. And we have to build emotional health to enable our ability to be comfortable as a nonconformist, as a longevity enthusiast. And that's the secret sauce needed to successfully lose weight. So this leads to a more powerful you, a happier you, right? We're building a wiser you, because the more healthy your brain gets, As you age, you become more wise with your lifetime accumulation of learning, as opposed to your brain shrinkage and becoming more, losing your memory and losing your ability to think logically due to your destruction of brain function with addictive and dangerous food. So eating healthfully sets you up for success, and you can accomplish a lot in life, and you can accomplish this desire you have to be the best version of yourself, because we all have that desire to be the best version, the healthiest version of ourselves that's in good shape with our full mental and physical faculties. And now's the time to do it, and to do it right. So diets fail. The reason diets mostly fail, but they don't have to fail. This is not hard to make a diet succeed, but you have to look at all these aspects and understand the science here. So nutritional inadequacy makes a diet fail. If you don't eat enough healthy food, you're going to fail. If you cut back calories too much, you're going to fail, because your the neurotic and food addicted brain is going to more obsess about food and want to binge on stimulating food. So, overly cutting back calories, even intermittent fasting with calorie days that are too low, or even juice fasting, in many cases water fasting, is not good for long-term success for people who are overweight or food addicts, because it makes them want to yo-yo their weight and bring them and shoot their metabolism too high and too low. We want to develop emotional stability, brain stability, and dietary stability. We want you to be the smartest scientists that modulates the health of what you're eating and adjusts the caloric intake to the level that has you lose 2 to 3 pounds a week if you're overweight. And if you're not losing weight, you can modulate the diet to a few 50 calories less, perhaps. But what happens is, when you eat this healthfully, you're comfortable eating that amount of calories without feeling like you're starving or uncomfortable. When you're eating a conventional diet, it becomes impossible to habituate yourself to be comfortable with the right amount of calories, because the desire to overeat calories is too powerful and can't be ignored. A person becomes this calorie eating, I say a calorie eating monster. They just are unsatisfied unless they overeat and eat unhealthy food. So the nutritarian diet here, and the way of thinking we're talking about here, gives us the ability to eat the right amount of calories. It doesn't guarantee it. A person could still stress eat, emotionally eat, and eat for emotional reasons and want to overeat healthy food, or overeat food, high concentrated caloric foods too much, or snack on too many nuts, or whatever. You can still do things wrong. But it gives us the ability to do things right. And when you eat unhealthily, it's almost impossible to do things right. So here we have the possibility of putting things in your corner so this can work for you. So the lack of green vegetables, also the high intake of green vegetables, is a secret sauce to give you a strategy to, and especially when you mix both raw and cooked green vegetables in the meals, like a salad with some cooked green vegetable at dinner, or some raw vegetables you chew, like carrots, jicama, raw peppers, snow pea pods, with like a little sauce, and then you have some cooked vegetables in a dish as well. It's this combination of sufficient vegetables to give those volumes and fibers. And diets fail because of the use of concentrated calories like oils and flours and sweets that drive the caloric rush. You can't succeed on a diet like that. The reason we're taking oil out of the diet, even though it is mostly because people are overweight, right? And they're not going to succeed when they're stimulating fat storage. And susceptibility to peer pressure is a major reason that people can't succeed on a healthy diet. So we have to be able to internally generate self-esteem, and not be exposed to the need for externally generated self-esteem. We have to lose this American, modern European, this modern world style of looking for other people's approval and trying to go after power. And people fail because there's no period of enforced abstinence. The desire for addictive substances lessens every day, week, and month. You're not taking it in. When you keep cheating, or when you don't have a clear boundary, and you keep on the weekends going for alcohol when you're an alcoholic, it stimulates the desire to keep wanting alcohol. When you keep having pizza or fried foods or oily foods or greasy foods or sugary foods, it lights the fire under your desires and keeps it lit. And you don't slowly see that fire burning out where you no longer desire those foods. The goal is to see that stuff as being poisonous. Why would I ever want to drink a soda or have something that's so unhealthy and feel sick? You couldn't get 10 men to tie me down and to force that stuff in my mouth. I don't see it as something desirous. And neither would you, with a long enough period of time away from the food, building your taste muscle to like healthy food and feeling how good you feel and can think, you will lose your desire for those foods with enough period of abstinence. So this period of enforced abstinence means that you clear the stuff out of your neighbor, out of your house, and you announce to the world, your own world around you, that you're making this change, and you're asking for other people's assistance and not for them to sabotage you. And you want to be able to feel that you can do this, and you can, obviously you can, but it takes some training and practice, and you have to practice thinking and living in the right manner, and it gets easier and easier the longer you keep doing it. So recurrent going on and off, this makes this more difficult. So we're talking about being mindful. We're talking about pausing and thinking before acting. Step back and consider the consequences, whatever you do. You don't have to react to a negative input or insult, because it doesn't matter, because that doesn't affect you. What affects you is how you react, not how somebody reacted to you. That affects them. That's a consequence of who they are, not a consequence of who you are, right? So you don't have to react to protect your ego. But now, do you think adequately of everything that goes in your mouth? And are you mindful that you're behaving, acting, speaking, and eating in your own best interest? So you have to behave in your own, what's best for you. So you have to think about that before you behave, before you eat. Think about it before you put it in your mouth. Is this in my own best interest, right? Loving yourself and caring for yourself means not only eating the best foods, it means behaving in a manner that's in your own best, long-term best interest as well. So we want to be mindful, mindfully appreciative, and having gratitude for the beauty and the healing power of the food on your plate. Even for how the beauty of how it's prepared or could look on the plate, even the beauty and appreciation, gratitude for who is the person who helped grow the food or pick the food for us on the plate, to put the frozen wild blueberries in that frozen box. Who sat there and picked all those wild blueberries for me? That person who helped me make this beautiful food that has all these wondrous, miraculous nutrients that have this symbiotic relationship with our human cells to give us life and to give us good health. And the beauty of having us to have good health when we eat good, healthy, natural foods